the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Rob is out this evening, so we will go on without him. Melissa, would you please call the roll?
Mr. Brumbaugh?
Here.
Mr. Fazy?
Here.
Mrs. Benson-Maker?
Here.
Mrs. Gill?
Here.
Mrs. Clyde?
Here.
Ms. Laura?
Here. Thank you. We have the minutes on pages 1 through 4 on May 22nd.
Make a motion to approve the minutes from May 22nd.
Second that.
Any further discussion or questions? Hearing none, would you please call the roll?
Mr. Brumbaugh?
Yes.
Mrs. Benson-Maker?
Yes.
Mrs. Gill?
Yes.
Ms. Laura?
Yes.
Mr. Fazy?
Yes.
Mrs. Clyde?
Yes.
Thank you. We have some visitors this evening. Pam Shoemaker.
Yep, already?
Yep, already.
Well, I wasn't planning on coming, but due to Memorial Day, we had some questions. I know Jared did not have any idea how many flags were going to take place, you know. And I think he bit off more than what he thought he was going to be getting himself into. But I think somebody should have stepped up to the plate and helped him, just like you're saying now, you want a committee formed to place where all these flags are supposed to be. So, how many of the past flags weren't put up for Memorial Day? You know?
I do not know the exact number.
Was there a lot? Well, I'll tell you, I know of 14 flags that were not put up. Okay, Dick got a call on his cell phone from in that group saying, did you know that our flags were not going to be put up? And they were a little upset. And then I went to the Memorial Day parade. Somebody stopped me. There I am standing all these empty poles, and they said, well, Pam, do you know why the flags aren't being put up? I said, I heard because they don't have enough poles. Why couldn't you, from the four-way stop to the cemetery, from the railroad track past Dollar General, what were all, I know those are probably AEP poles, but why couldn't the flags been put up on those poles?
You want to address that, Mike?
Yeah. Yeah, so the week prior on the council meeting, the week prior to that.
Well, I wasn't here, so.
I know. But we went ahead and established a committee, a military committee. I'm heading up the military committee. And so I met this last Thursday over to VFW, and we had discussions, and I talked with all the guys, right,
Yeah.
and everything. So, but what the intention is we have the poles, but we also need to have brackets to put those up with, right? So.
Okay.
So
They
anyhow.
don't come with the flags? The brackets?
No, they don't come with the flags.
I'm sorry.
So here's what I'm doing is, so I talked to the VFW, and they were willing to donate $500 to the military fund for that purpose.
Oh, okay.
And then, so I'm gonna reach out to the Rotary, and I'm gonna reach out to,
Lions Club?
the American Legion and the Lions Club, and then I'm also gonna reach out to local businesses, see if anybody would like to donate as well to help get to this point. So what I did was I went out and got pricing for all the brackets and everything.
Okay.
So what I found was, and I found a company that is an American-made company that makes these, and so the best price that I had was $26 a piece for the brackets. Now, if we get 100 of them, then it's down to $23. So that's what I went with. And right now, that's going to be $2,300. So my goal was to get to that point, in a timely manner. And I talked to Greg earlier about the poles with AEP and stuff. My uncle, my aunt's husband, works for AEP, so I put a call to him, and he's going to see about. He says they have a map of Macomb with all the numbers for all the poles. So he's gonna get me that map, so that way we can mark out the poles and get everything designated, and then hopefully we can get this turned around in a timely manner, okay?
Okay.
And if you want to help and be involved
Sure, I would be glad to.
with the committee, so right now, I'm gonna try to plan on going for the military committee meeting on the third Monday of the month, okay?
Okay.
And-
Right here?
Yes, and so the nice thing about that, the more help, because I work too.
Well,
you know,
yeah.
Still, but I need also people where we can put together letters to give to businesses and stuff to bring, to see if they want to, and meet with those folks, right? So Roger McDowell also is the representative from the VFW, who is also gonna be a part of this at this point, okay?
Yeah.
So,
Because why I say, because we went to Tiffin last week to a ball game. They have poles like our downtown, but they don't hang the military.
right, well, these
They're
poles are.
on Main Street, or on side streets, they had, like, our wood poles, that's where they
Right.
hung all their
Yeah,
I
because
know.
we can, on our street
No,
light
there's
poles,
no
we
way.
can really only hold one banner, because,
Or even double stacking them on the wood, because I noticed
Right.
tonight when I went to Cary, there at the fire station, there's 2 flags hanging
okay,
out.
so then initially, that's the first part of the goal, is to get the brackets and get flags, okay, hung up. And then the second part of the goal in the long run is to look at doing a monument area, and it's been brought up several times, is for that section right there in the park, coming into the park, where and the entrance where you drive in and you exit, that grass area in there where the old jailhouse is, to make maybe a military memorial there, that we can put flags up. And then, you know, discussing with the guys at this point in time, what flags do we choose to put in there? So, at this point in time, the discussion was brought up, well, maybe we put the World War I and World War II flags there, and as a memorial, for a monument for them, right? So,
Because I'd even thought before it was in the paper, the spot where the so-called daycare center's gonna be. Because I asked Dick, I
Right.
said, who owns that lot between the Dollar General and,
Right.
you know, he says, well, I think the town does. And I thought, well, gee, that would be a nice place coming into town, but then I
Oh,
see
well,
the daycare center.
and also, the other part about the park deal is, at least you can drive in and around, and, you know, we're gonna look at trying to make everything visible real well
Oh,
from,
yeah, no.
and, you know, there's been a lot of discussions, right, on that, so.
Okay, as long as something's gonna be done, because I hate to say, it, I invested a lot of money. I bought 4 flags, so that's $400
Right.
that none of them was put up.
So they just got informed too, right? So,
Yeah,
anyhow,
okay.
that's
So
where
the
I'm at.
third, you said the third Monday?
Yes. the third
At what
Monday.
time, 6:30 or?
6:30.
6:30 here.
Yep.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Did you say here? Or is
Yes.
it- Oh, okay, for some reason I didn't.
No, their meeting was,
Oh.
their official meeting was last Thursday.
Oh, okay, sorry.
And so I went there, because I wanted to make sure they were aware of this, and they, like I said, they already offered to donate $500 to the military committee fund for this, and so we got a few details to go through.
So it's not an issue to AEP for us to hang on their poles? Or was-
You have to
Petition.
let them know what polls that you are want to, and you have to submit that to them.
And then they approve it?
And they
if
approve it.
Got it.
But
So-
the only thing,
so it's not a for sure
right
thing.
now, the only problem with the way we do it right now is, so if we decide we wanna do that, we have to go out and physically go out to the poll and read all the numbers off the poll,
Yeah.
where, to me, I know they have a map, right? So
Yeah.
I reached out to
Yeah.
my Uncle John, and to see about getting a hold of that map, so we can say, okay, this is the number, this is the number, blah, 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 and we can make the process a lot, streamlined.
And there's certain
Plus, there's
criteria.
certain rules that you have,
Right.
you know, if it's close to traffic, you have to be 15 foot to the bottom of the banner.
Right.
If you're on the opposite side of the right of way, then it's 11 foot to the bottom of the banner.
Right.
So along our poles on Main Street, they're too close to the road,
Right.
so you're gonna have a banner here, then the next pole might be, you could have banners at 11 foot.
Right, I got you. But on this one, so what you're seeing here is on that
I would
case.
say the ones out there, you're gonna have to be 15 feet to the bottom of the banner.
Right. But down here, we're probably, as long as we stay to the inside,
It's 11 foot. to the
we can go
bottom.
to 11 foot. Right.
There's no wires or anything in the way.
Right. Okay, so that's some more details I gotta get documented down, and so we have everything in front of us.
Well, I appreciate all of
Appreciate
your
it.
effort and
Yep.
getting the group together and trying to resolve.
Yep, no problem.
Thank you.
I mean, it was a good thing what Jared had going. I mean, that's the positive side to it. But we just gotta keep moving forward. But, and he did everything, I think that he could do at this point.
Okay. Any other questions for Mike or discussion in regards to that? Okay, Sharon and Tim Pathé.
I'm here complaining again. We have a nuisance paragraph set up in our zoning, and it talks about nuisance, loud music. Well, we have loud music going on, and it's a nuisance. It goes on at 4 in the morning, 10 in the morning, Tuesday afternoon, Friday night, Saturday morning, anytime, all the time. It's coming out of Steve Russell's horse barn that's out back along the alley. Steve Russell owns the property, he's the property owner, he lets all of this happen. I've had to complain about spotlights in my bedroom in the middle of the night, a roaring fire at 4 a.m., 6 motorcycles out in the alley at 3 a.m. When does this end? Steve Russell does nothing to guide his renters and how to be a renter. It's happening in the middle of the village, any given day, any holiday, any morning, any night, anytime, all the time. And I'm tired of listening to Elton John, Tiny Dancer at 6 a.m. on Sunday morning. I would rather hear the church bells than hear unnecessary nuisance, loud music. It's in our zoning. It's addressed in our zoning. It is not acceptable in our zoning.
Now, as far as fires, there's not any more fires, is there?
Excuse me, I have not seen a fire yet this year.
Yeah.
The fires hopefully were stopped. Hopefully that you were all strong enough in your enforcement that the fires have stopped. But the other things don't stop.
So, we've had long discussions about this because it has been an issue. Anytime I go over there, the music's not loud. I come in my personal vehicle and have not been able to catch the music loud. I have told her to call the sheriff's office and do a report because I can't issue a citation to someone without having the proof.
Right.
And no judge is going to say, well, take, her word. So I have to be the one to see it, or another law enforcement.
Right. And sometimes the sheriff is here for that.
Yeah, the sheriff's deputies have responded and have not seen that either. They're in and out of town. I've had them sitting over on the other side of Boyles's Black Shop, and they haven't heard it. As for the motorcycles, I cannot do anything about him having company. There's nothing I can do about that.
Right.
I can't tell him when they can come and go or when he can come and go. That's not my place. There's no laws against that. I know the motorcycles are loud, I agree, but there's still nothing that says that that can't happen. I have reached out to Mr. Russell, and he is aware that there has been issues. and there was supposed to be a discussion with him. And I have tried to set a rapport with him. I'll drive through the alley and just to drive through and see, and they'll have the music on, but it's not loud, because it's allowed to be so loud. It's like within 20
Well,
or
see,
30
when you're
feet.
on duty, he don't do it. When he knows you're not around, then he gets with it. He just don't do it when you're around. He just waits until he knows you're gone and everybody over here's gone, and then he just does whatever he wants.
Well, I have come in with my personal vehicle trying, so that way he wouldn't see the cruiser too. I have done that also.
Yeah.
There's been times I'll stay in town driving around, or I'll go sit somewhere for 2 hours and have not caught those.
Yeah.
those
Eventually you'll
times.
catch him.
Eventually.
Yeah.
And when I do, then I can
And
cite
plus,
him.
I think he's got a police radio or something, 'cause every time she calls, he's picking up on information somehow. And it was like that when the burning was going on. Every time we'd call, he'd get a phone call, and then he'd go put the fire out. It was just somehow he was being informed.
I am trying. I
Yeah.
don't know what else to do to try.
He's like a stalker. It's like he's stalking her.
Would any of you like to have a
Cameras
spotlight
pointing
and
at you
cameras
and
in your bed,
spotlight.
pointed at your bedroom window? Camera pointed at my bedroom window. 3 of them, 3 cameras. 2 of them are pointed at my back door. One's pointed at my bedroom window. But anybody can point a camera wherever they want, so it's okay if it's pointed at your bedroom window. Anybody can put a camera wherever they want.
I think if I recall, this has been since I was on council, and if I recall correctly, Mr. Feiner suggested that you file a civil suit against him. I don't know if that ever happened or not.
Never did a civil suit.
Okay. Well, if he were here tonight, I'm sure he would refresh on that, but I can ask him about that, get some more information for you.
I have to go to the expense and the time of filing a civil suit, not knowing how it's gonna come out.
Yeah.
Is that right?
I can't say if it's right, no. But it might be the way that it'll be solved. I know that, continue to call the sheriff when Chief Blanc is not on duty. The more you call him, there's more documentation. I know you feel like you're calling him and you're a pain, but
I
that's
am a
what they're...
pain when they're coming around and they can't do anything, or they won't do anything, or nothing becomes done of it. And I'm up from 2 a.m. till 7 o'clock in the morning trying to calm down and get myself back to resting again.
But that is their job to come and check it out, so I would not feel guilty about calling them when it's happening.
We contract with the sheriff's office, so that is what they're supposed to do when I'm not here. They are supposed to take the calls from a call, and they are supposed to respond. And just like me, if the music is up, he will be cited.
Well, when you can hear, and as easily as you showed me an app on your phone, you can see what is happening in any police station or any call center.
I can't believe that they're letting them do that. I just really can't.
And
It's none of nobody's business what the police are doing.
I don't disagree with that, but unfortunately,
Well, it
that's
is.
not the way it works.
Right.
Have there been other complaints
Mhm.
from other people that live around that area?
I had one complaint of some loud music on a Saturday, and it was addressed, and I haven't heard anything else since. And I have went to that person and said, and they said they haven't heard it since.
Okay. Well, thank you guys.
I will
for all
keep
that.
coming on my personal vehicle. I will I'll keep driving around. I do it on the weekends, I do it during the week.
Yeah.
I'm not.
He doesn't
taking
do it
against
on a
you,
regular
Chief.
basis either, you know, you just never know when he's gonna do it.
Exactly, you don't know, because
Right.
there's sometimes that he's not there, that he's out
Yeah.
riding on his bike or whatever,
Yeah.
and stuff, but I will keep doing what I'm doing. Sooner or later, it's gonna be a good time, and I'm gonna catch him.
And I certainly can,
And you hear him out there in the back just a cussing and raising hell.
Oh,
He's
my
like
name
a
is this
psycho.
long, but there's this many.
And that's
bad
with the
words.
windows closed. He's like a nut.
I will email, I think it's Sergeant Price, or Captain Price? Or is it-
He's captain. yeah.
Captain, and just remind him to have his people drive that alley when he's here.
Yeah, that'd be a good idea. Yeah, they wouldn't know about it
Correct.
unless somebody says.
I will ask him to do that.
Because just to drive around, you're not gonna see anything, but if you drive down the alley, you'll see it.
The way the horse barn is laid out, when you throw open the doors, the music comes this way. Well, that's where I am. It bounces off of the bricks, that's the building of Ed's, possibly the wooden fence that I have put up to try to keep the idiots out of my yard.
I think that is part of the problem, is because of where the doors open up at. The music is
Does
coming
come out.
off, and it is making it
Yeah,
sound
it
louder.
just stays right there.
Yeah,
It
it's making it sound
doesn't
louder
go
than
out.
what it really is too, and I think that's an issue.
All right, and I'll continue to drive down through there too. I do every so
Yeah.
often, so.
Yeah.
I appreciate all of the help that all of you give me on this, because you don't have to. And I know I come here and complain a lot.
Well, up until the point that this idiot moved in, you didn't even know anybody was living over there. And all of a sudden, they throw him out of North Baltimore, and he comes over here with his bullshit. He was doing the same thing over there.
All right, thank you.
See you later.
All right, bye-bye. Jamie, you have cemetery report?
Yeah, there's not a lot to report on. Max Rear, he's still waiting on the other signs for the sign for the cemetery, but the other one is done, so once
Yes.
both of them are all done and everything, we'll
thank you.
go for that. And as always, I'll call out, Sexton received new long after he got a TP appeals service. And then we had discussed that Pleasant Township trustees were handing out pamphlets for the Memorial Day program for the cemetery.
Okay, thank you. And old business? New business?
Well, I kinda gave my report already.
Yeah, that worked out perfect.
Thank you.
I mean, yeah.
It, you know, I have a banner, it's not up, I understand why, I mean, it's not a big deal.
And we have how many in waiting?
I think there's 14 now.
We'll probably have more,
Carol
right?
Lawson had stopped in and asked if Margaret Forby had one, and she did not, so I went through Jane at the library and Deb Ewing, and Jane reached out to a nephew, and we have a picture of her in full uniform, so.
Oh, did she ever get one for Jen too?
She's got it in the list,
Okay.
yeah.
Cause I know that got brought up too.
Well, it did, but there was a deadline and she didn't meet the deadline, and
Right.
I'm not one to do favors, so
Right.
I have to follow the rules, so. But we will have several more that, you know,
It's gonna be well over 100.
Yeah.
if I'm
And that's one of the
thinking
reasons why
right-
I wanna try to get these brackets and stuff. They're set up to, you know, that you can leave the brackets on the pole and you just pull the pins and it pulls the rods and the banner off. And I think it makes it easier putting up and down.
I hope, and I hope that they don't fall off, and I hope they don't
Well,
go
they have
on
a
the windshield.
Yeah, they have a through that ring, you
That
need to-
ring,
you're
yeah.
supposed to put and through your grommet on your flag, you're supposed to put a wire tie on into
Okay.
there. I mean, it
Good.
fully explains all that, right?
Just a
Sorry.
recommendation, I don't know, Dan Ritter, he was over at Van Loon, it was on Facebook.
Yeah, I saw that.
Did you see
Yeah,
that?
yep.
Yeah, that was a really neat, I haven't been over there, I was gonna, next time I go in that direction, when I go into Van Loon.
I know Greg's.
I've
You guys
talked
need to-
with
Yeah,
the gentleman that did that.
That's-
That was all volunteer. Man,
Yeah.
they did not pay anything for that.
okay.
Like a special meeting bracket for them or
Oh,
something?
it's in the
It was
lawn.
like a wall art and
Oh,
lovely and
awesome.
flag and pool. And I shared a
Yeah.
picture from Dunkirk. They
Yeah.
actually
Concrete pillars.
concrete stone up, and they have 8, you can put 2 on each side, so they have 8 on one pole even.
Yeah. So I was gonna bring that up,
Yeah.
how far you gotten yet.
No, yeah,
That'd be
I got it.
kinda neat
Oh, yeah.
idea.
That's
for
stuff,
that
that's
area.
stuff we'll talk about, you know,
Yeah.
and, you know, try to get feedback
I'll
from
try to get
people.
on that Monday as well.
So.
I doubt it,
Did
but
the-
I can.
Did the veterans, did Larry say they would do anything with that?
There was a little bit of discussion, but I didn't want, during the VFW meeting, I didn't wanna bring it up during that meeting, but I wanna talk to them separately, but, yeah.
Well, thank you, I do appreciate it. Anything else, Mike, that you have?
Not right offhand.
Okay. Carrie?
I'm planning to have, finance at 5:30 and zoning at 6:30, Wednesday the 21st. I don't think, we didn't have either last month.
5:30, 6:30.
Yep.
So, the only other thing, I thought about earlier was also then on maybe, since the 19th for that military committee at 6:30, can we put that out on the, webpage too?
Mm-hmm. Do you want me to put it on in the Courier as well?
Probably wouldn't hurt.
Okay.
Because that's, someone would talk to some people and they said, well, that's,
Let us know when.
put them out in the letter, but, okay, well, I live in the country, so I'm not gonna get that, right? So, yeah.
That is on our webpage,
Right.
but still, I get
Yep,
that.
yep.
I have nothing.
Sarah? Beth?
Nothing at this time.
On the student committee reports, like the 2 seniors have now moved on.
Yeah, I think they're planning on trying to get a meeting, but I know we've got like the Cancun trip coming up, so it might not be until after everyone's back from that.
Okay.
Before we can meet again, but I told them that they needed to formulate a plan of how they're gonna advertise to fill the 3 seats that are open. Cause Casey's was a 1-year term as well, since we didn't have the, and I told Casey too, I was like, if she's interested to please reapply.
And did they do any type of evaluation or?
No, not
kind of
yet.
Exit? Okay. Because I'd be interested to see what they felt. I mean, I know it was just their first year, but,
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, they did a lot of nice things.
Yeah,
They really did.
Well, and thanks Jamie for leading that. They did a good job. I think they learned about council and how to give back to the community and thanks for your effort.
Did they ever have their meeting with Rob?
No.
But even if they brought the new ones in, he could still meet with the old ones and the new ones at the same
Yeah.
time. They could use this here. I think that would be beneficial.
Going forward, I guess the student committees, I wanted to bring up the idea of us getting them a t-shirt each year. Like we did here at the last minute, right, for the special event, but I think if we do it at the beginning of the term, that way they have it throughout the school year and the events and things that they plan. I think
I
that'd be
agree. And they look really nice.
Yeah.
Did they turn out, I didn't
Oh,
pay
yeah.
attention, I mean, I got them,
Yeah,
but I
they
didn't
look
look at
at
them.
them.
Okay.
They were nice.
Did we get an invoice for that?
I believe,
I haven't seen it.
you haven't seen it yet?
Okay.
Okay.
I hope she didn't invoice me, they ordered them, so I'll say so much
And thank you for your help with the shirts and helping with that.
I told her, I said, pick a fun design, and this is what I wanted to say, fun
Yeah.
wording, and that's it,
And,
so.
yeah, they were kind of a, I don't know what you call that, kind of a.
Heather red.
Heathery,
Yeah.
yeah, they weren't just a solid.
Salad red,
Yeah.
okay.
They were-
I mean, I thought,
They were like a softer.
remember. Good.
Okay, legislative, I do want to share the difference before we go through that. Obviously, Sheriff Department just realized that our contract ended on June 1st and sent this out. I did do a comparison. The new price is $43.32 per hour, and what we paid last year was $38.99, so basically $39, increase of $4.33. The largest increase was in the basic hourly deputy rate wage. It's my understanding that the Sheriff's Department has a new contract and their base wage went up quite a bit. So that is why it's $3.17 difference from last year, just on the wage.
So it's $4.33 increase from last year total.
Yes. So I wanted to share that before we went over that, whether you choose to do it as an emergency or want to go 3 readings.
I'll make a motion to suspend the rules to ordinance 2023-09, expired on the 1st.
Second.
Mr. Brumbaugh?
Yes.
Mr. Fazy?
Yes.
Mrs. Fenstermaker?
Yes.
Ms. Laura?
Yes.
Mrs. Gill?
Yes.
Mrs. Clark?
Yes.
I didn't even read it, but I'll read this to make it.
Read it, make it official.
Yeah, first reading of ordinance 2023-09, an agreement between Village of Macomb and Sheriff of Hancock County.
So we've suspended the rules, then we need a motion for,
Yeah, motion to approve ordinance 2023-09.
Second.
Mrs. Fenstermaker? Mrs. Gill?
Yes.
Mrs. Clyde?
Yes.
Ms. Laura?
yes.
Mr. Fazy?
Yes.
Mr. Brumbaugh?
Yes.
Thank you.
Third reading of ordinance 2023-06, an ordinance vacating a certain portion of an alley in the Village of Macomb, Ohio.
And I don't think we have to take a vote on that since it's the third.
I think we do.
We never voted on it.
I'll make
Yeah.
a motion to approve
Okay.
ordinance 2023-06. Where we have it.
Is there a second?
A second.
Mr. Fazy?
Yes.
Mrs. Fenstermaker?
Yes.
Mrs. Clyde?
Yes.
Ms. Laura?
Yeah.
Mr. Brumbaugh?
Yes.
Mrs. Gill?
Yes.
And then does that get recorded within 30 days after this? Okay, I know where to go for that. Okay, thank you. Melissa, do you have anything else to report? Greg?
Just a few things. I'm sure everybody knows, but I'm not sure that Helms and Son Construction's been awarded the contract for the Church Street Interceptor for $1,085,691. Construction is anticipated to begin this fall with a completion date set for July of 2024. I would like the Public Works Committee to have a meeting to review projects for the 2024 paving season. If we choose to partner with the county again like I did this year to get OPWC funds, I need to turn the paperwork in by August 1st for what projects we'd like to do.
Do you want to go ahead and let's look at their schedule now and for commitments?
I don't know, who's on that committee?
Yes.
And
Yeah.
do you wanna look maybe at 5:30 with that
That's what I was
military?
wondering.
It's Sarah, Jamie, and Mike. Would that work for you, John? The night,
5:30
that
on the
Monday,
19th.
at 5:30?
I probably can make that work.
I cannot,
You get off work at 5:30?
we won't be in town, so
Oh,
I'm not in town.
okay.
You wanna do it before a council meeting?
It took like 15 minutes last time we did it, right? This is
Well, I'm gonna try and,
condense it.
Probably hard to
before.
find that list.
right, I'm gonna try and get my ideas and then
Sure.
if you guys say no, or yeah, or let's think of something else, that's what I planned on.
So you're thinking we do 5:30 on the 26th?
Or do you wanna do 6? 5:45?
Yeah, 5:45.
5:45?
So 5:45 on the 26th, Public Works. So the courier's gonna love me.
Okay, thank you. Just to kinda go along with that, we did get we get this monthly, our permissive use tax fund, that the county collects when everybody gets their license plates. And, we're now up to $21,670.73 that we can use for roads. We cannot use it for parking lots.
That's a quarterly amount? Or they add to it quarterly?
They
They add to it monthly. We're roughly about close to $700 to $1,000 a month that would get added to that.
So they hold it in a fund and we petition for the fund when we need to use it?
We not take anything out last year, but the year before, we took 90,000 out.
They had left it build up and had never
Oh,
used it.
interesting, okay.
We still have some of that left, let's say maybe 10 to 20,000 in our account,
Mm.
something like that.
Number 4, the health department reached out to me, asked if I would want them to spray for mosquitoes in the village this summer. I said yes. This is not a cost to us, I believe they just do it. But they would like to do it before we have a big gathering, so they're gonna do it before the Cookie Festival. So, but they also have started, treating catch basins. They'll put tablets down there. So if you see workers that are by the catch basins this week, they started today, that's what they're doing.
I haven't been too bad in the sheriff's spot. That's
Been
amazing.
dry.
Yeah.
We're gonna
so
get
far.
rain this week, so. Good change.
I'll probably jinx myself, but number 5, we only had a handful of residents ask questions about the rezone letters that were sent out. I'm tried the best of my ability to answer all their questions. They seem to be satisfied. But we had some errors, which Matt said we would, and I've been working through them. So, I don't know all this stuff, but I've been trying my best on these SIP trunks. From Tom, he's telling me what to do, and I'm trying to do it, and people are talking Greek to me when they talk back to me, so then I gotta call Tom back. But today, I did get the last step to get our SIP trunk numbers, to have new numbers here at the office. We're gonna have 293 numbers instead of 273. But I need help filling out what they're asking, so I could get a hold, which Tom was tagged on this email, so hopefully he'll help me out on it, because some of these questions I don't know what they're asking. I'm just being honest, I guess. The pool's up and running, everything's going good, good attendance, except today and tomorrow, not much going to probably happen. But Randy did bring up the issue to me, some of these pool parties. He was calling me the other night. People not listening to rules, kids not listening to rules. the lifeguards trying to correct it, and parents getting upset. You know, but, you know, rules are rules. It doesn't matter if it's at a pool party or if it's during the day. Randy enforces the rules. I think Brooklyn had some issues, and Randy wasn't at that pool party, but he visited it, and then they started to listen, because he stayed up there, and basically said he's not gonna take, and if they keep going, you're gone. You're not getting money back either. So, we kinda talked, and Randy had a good idea, is the pool rules that I post, and we're gonna make copies of that, and anybody that signs up for a pool party has to sign that. So basically it's saying that you read the rules, and if you break the rules, then you're out with no money.
Agreed.
So we're trying to nip that in the bud. Last year we had no issues, but they've had 2 or 3 right in a row. That's been not good. Billy and Jared and I, we did frame the concession stand back by 3 and 4. I didn't want to do this on my own. I do have color samples of what you want, maybe the roof and the siding to be. We can pass that around, and we kind of scratched on the ones that I thought, and Kathy thought, but hey, we're not.
Well, everything back in there is pretty much that Tudor brown.
Right.
So if we stuck with that and then either did the light stone or this Surrey beige maybe for the walls.
That was.
I mean, the only thing white now is the fence. And it just.
So
We
if
have
they-
existing buildings back there that we're, if we stay with match that color.
If we want, yeah.
And yeah, if there's anything else put back there, we would stick with that. But if we can decide on that tonight, then I can get it ordered, and then it'll be here next week.
I don't really have anything to make it a press card.
Oh, you do.
The last one, I reached out to Ward Construction, actually it was in December, and they measured our parking lot up out here, and to do an overlay was like $18,000. I did
just to mill it a little bit.
was just to mill along the garage doors and along the sidewalk and stuff. Well, I called Rudder Dudley after that also. I called them in February, and they came out and they were like, we're tearing everything out, regrading it, restoning it, doing everything. And that was close to $50,000. So I reached back to Ward at that time, and I said, is this something that we have to do, and so when we cut the trench in, it isn't very thick. It might be 1.5 inches, the parking lot. So I told Barry that at Ward, and he was gonna come back up and figure a price to redo everything. Well, that hasn't happened yet. I've asked him twice. When they fixed the catch basin, I called him, I said, hey, can we go up and look at that? Because I gotta go to a doctor's appointment. So, I'm just letting you guys know what's on the radar. And pretty soon, if I don't get it on somebody, it's not gonna happen this year. So,
What was the thickness running roughly? How thick were you?
there we're gonna do 1.5 inch, or 2.5 inch base, and then 1.5 inch top.
I might be able to get you 2 other people to get estimates from that are doing smaller jobs in the area. So
I know Rudder Dudley is gonna be doing at the school in August.
Okay.
So that's only half a chance that I could get them to come here in August if we choose them. But I mean, that's expensive. But like I said, I just want to get on some. If we don't do it, it's not gonna happen this year.
I'll try to get that to you tomorrow if I can.
And that is all I have.
Any questions for Greg? The they did a very nice job of framing that up back there. It looks really nice. It's gonna be very nice. Rob wanted to let you know that he has been in contact with the gentleman from Premier Bank regarding that alley over here. Definitely do not want to donate it to anyone except for a village or a town or city. And I asked Rob, I said, so if that's the case, I said, you know, we can get it and then do what we want. Well, he said they might put deed restrictions in on it. And I said, so if we have a deed restriction that we can't sell it, could we possibly lease it if that would help? And that's the last I heard, and that's the last that I shared with Joe. So as soon as he gets back, we need to finalize that. AEP, when he called me the other day, he said he'd been in contact with her, and they acted like they really haven't decided for sure what they're doing across the park. So maybe they're getting a little heat. And that hearing is the 11th of July, I believe, at the library. So I definitely will be at that meeting, and I know Rob will be as well. July 11th.
I do have it written down, just all the time.
I have it back on my calendar too.
I apologize, I don't remember.
I can look and send it out.
That's fine.
So that was the last that he had. Again, he referenced that he has met with Tom Brown at Tony's with the same crew coming through for another line, and it ended up they weren't even putting a pole back in his parking lot, so it worked out for Tom.
Okay. Macomb Police Department. Well, if you are making that report right now, I would suggest you call the sheriff's office if it's going on right now. Okay.
What'd you get?
What's our,
Red mold?
what's our choices? Choice.
This is Tyler's. Tyler, I'm gonna throw him in.
It won't match, but it's painted colors. Red, they're autumn red siding on the walls, white roof, and if you could do black corners for the trim on the corners, 4 corners, I got the construction.
Get your red flag.
And white.
That's why I didn't pick the color.
I mean, it is gonna, it wouldn't match the other building.
But it would be kind of colors, and I kind of feel like the money concession stand would maybe stand out a little bit to draw people
Yeah.
to it.
The
Yeah.
garage doors would
So,
be white.
no, it's okay, so can you call me back
If
tomorrow?
it's terrible,
We'll
we can
discuss
put Tyler for a ball.
Colors chosen by.
I can put second and Sarah.
We all back you, we all back you.
So we want a white, you're saying white roof.
Okay.
Which would probably be best for heat.
Yeah. And red sides.
What if you have the
I
white
would say if you.
roll up doors, that would be nice.
Yeah. Black
And then
corners.
trimmed in black.
Black corners and black soffit fascia.
All right, thank you.
Yeah.
Would that be all right with the white?
Or do you want the white?
White is
Do white soffit.
Mike's
Yeah.
gonna get dirty
Black.
with bugs
No.
and the dirt coming down from the rain underneath,
Yes.
unless we're gonna clean it.
So, what color are you on?
it typically white though? Isn't like that stuff that goes under the water? That's what-
Normally soft is
Mine's,
white.
mine's brown.
Right.
I don't know.
Mine's white, but it matches my garage, so that's
Yeah,
why.
I don't know.
What do you think?
It would be
Sarah?
white, white with the white.
Yeah, the white,
Yeah, I
black
see how it
underneath,
drips.
the water comes down and drips.
It's been 10 days now.
It just, dark and then it matches the corner.
So we got Tyler and Carrie.
Should we take a photo so we can put their pictures
I have
in?
some interior design
Wanted.
friends, maybe we should bring them in.
Drive them off.
I don't care,
do
whatever.
I do understand what you say about dirt.
And you know, it doesn't mean that as we improve things back there, we can't change the color.
Right.
Yeah,
Well, the other colors just kind of blend in with nature,
yeah.
which makes sense for a lot of the buildings, but I think it makes sense to make the concession stand stand out.
That's fun.
Yeah.
So white roof, red sides, black corners.
And you can pick the soffit, whatever you think is best.
Yeah, we'll let you.
We're gonna leave.
He is the winner, he said it, white.
The rope just got long.
Whatever.
Yeah, I try to trim the windows and things in black too.
Yeah.
Yep.
And then you have downspouting, right, I assume that'll be black.
Well,
To run down
it
the-
could
where
be
you
white
put
and
it?
black down, yeah.
Okay.
Didn't your neighbors put black on theirs? The spouting?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was like mine, I haven't, yeah, those, yep. those
Yep.
ones. They just put a fence up, did they get a?
I checked on that.
Okay.
I went by and I went,
They're new, so I was trying to be helpful with them, but,
You got Mr. Ritchie, right?
Oh.
Ritchie?
They've done some nice work.
They really have.
Um,
What's that?
What's that?
Blue side?
Yeah,
Yeah.
they just put up a fence.
But they've had taken trees down and
Yeah.
how to clean things up and
Really.
fix the siding and.
She told me the other day it was all for a dog. Doesn't
It
matter to
looks
me.
nice.
It looks very nice.
okay, Chief Plunk.
The camera for the cruiser has been ordered. The laptop is on order. So that is done. I was awarded a $1,144.70 grant, and that grant's for body armor. So my vest only has maybe another year on it. So by the time this all goes through, I'll get another vest, and it'll last another 4.5 years. So we got that. Numbers, guess I should have this present. And I just combined everything. So it would be 8 incidents since we last met, or since I have been here. 141 calls for service, 6 traffic citations.
What was that number, 60 what?
That's 6 traffic.
Oh,
Six.
6.
141
traffic.
calls for service.
Yeah,
Yep.
141 traffic. I don't have a lot of time to run traffic, but a lot of times it's done right in front of me, and it happened to me last week. I was on my way home actually, and this car just blew right through the stop sign and everything right in front of me, and I'm like, seriously? My granddaughter had a ball game. I'm like, I'm supposed to be going home right now, but I cannot just turn the other way, so I was tied up on that for a little while.
Have we gotten calls about the motorcycle people screaming through town? Have you, is that?
There's
have you
not a
come
whole
up
lot
with
we can do about it until it's caught. We know who it is, and they know we know, so they're kinda now mixing it up and kinda going all over. I've got video out on Shoops Road.
I saw somebody put them on blast, but I can obviously hear them from where I live, like they're running right past my house.
Ben McHugh blasted them
Yeah,
on
and there was all
Facebook, and there was
kinds
a big
Yeah.
uproar about that.
Yeah.
I have been out to 2 of the houses, and of course they didn't answer. But I let the people that did answer the door, let them know we're aware it's them, and we're watching for them. I look for these 3 boys to run if we do catch them, and I don't know about the sheriff's office, but I will not pursue them if they run. I won't do it. Just a big liability, so.
Or do we have any grants that cover like, the solar powered,
Speed.
speeding
Stop
signs,
We actually have one.
I have 2 up at the office. They have to be recalibrated, and I was gonna have them recalibrated when he comes to do the new cruiser. I'm just waiting for him to tell me when he's coming, so.
So you got 2 of them now?
Yeah, as far as I know, they work.
Right.
I'll know more when he comes and calibrates them, and
Okay.
so.
We do have $1,000 PEP safety grant.
I was gonna say, do we know where we got those, or how much they were, or any of that? They're portable, aren't they, probably?
Clem has them, because she tried to sell some, but they're pretty pricey.
Oh, yeah, yeah, I'm sure.
I think it was like $3,700.
Small towns.
Yeah, you probably have to shop around a little bit, but yeah.
Every time.
They used to put the one out there on 186
Right.
quite a bit,
Right.
especially in the summer when it's cool.
Yeah.
But again, if they're blowing through like they've been blowing through, they're just gonna laugh and they're probably not gonna see what they're.
So the stop signs that are at 186 and 613, the four-way stop, are those ours, or is that actually the county? And
That'd be state,
State.
I would think,
Okay.
State Route 613 and State Route 186, 235.
Okay, so they would be the state.
State.
Because I have had a couple semi-drivers, when they've been at the carryout or something, say, why don't you guys have those lights blinking, you know, where sometimes we don't see them, and I'm like, how do you not see them, but.
I think they have to do a count or something to get those to have that flashing.
Or enough accidents.
Yeah.
I think that's what it is more of.
So there are traffic counts you can access online, like there's an online thing where they do traffic counts in different places every so often. But I don't know what the counts would have to be in order to get those, or how you petition for that.
The county will do counts for you.
They're up there, I mean, it's gotta be more than, 5, 10. It's gotta be up there.
Yeah.
And they have to be like major accidents, so.
That's sad. Okay, anything else for Tammy?
I just been noticing a lot of people, seems like excessive speeding on Main Street.
Oh, it's been bad.
Yeah.
It's everywhere.
Especially like going west
Yes,
out of
they
town.
don't care.
Oh, yeah.
No, I mean, some of these people are actually going 45 miles an hour.
Some of it's coming from the cookie factory, too, because I've heard like
Yeah.
motorcycles.
In and out.
I can
Going
hear
in
them
and out of town.
coming from the cookie factory all the way up the corner. And when he turns the corner, it just.
Especially
floors
like from like 5 to 7
It's just-
people on the go from work or whatever, it's just like, it's become really noticeable. I'm usually not trying not to get people's business, but like,
All of
these
them
cars,
take
they're
that
like, they're
bad
screaming
too.
through Main Street.
Even people coming in from out of town on 335 out there, like they are flying, like they have to be going, they're not slowing down to enter the city, the village. They're still going 60 once they're at the dollar store, you know what I
That's
mean?
why
Like,
I've been
I keep,
seeing a lot out here,
like,
but of course,
I know, but there's gonna be an accident because of that. People aren't expecting those cars to be going that fast when they're pulling out or whatever.
Yeah.
They do that coming in. I was sitting there one morning, I'm like, we got lucky, and then the sheriff was sitting at the stop sign. He wasn't so lucky. Yeah.
I have I have emailed the different areas. As I'm noticing them, I email them out so that when they're here,
Sure.
and just like them across the street, they know. Yeah, they do.
That has been ongoing forever, and they were told, get a silver case.
And
What house is it? I mean, it's.
he's so he lives upstairs in the apartment building, but she's talking about, he has there's like an old shed type.
Beside the blacksmith shop.
Kind of
On the alley though.
Yeah. Kind of across
It
from
sits on that other alley.
It runs
Right.
north and south.
Yeah.
Okay.
But the door's open towards.
I was trying to figure out what
towards
house it was.
Towards
I
the
was like,
east.
I don't know what they're talking about.
Yeah, and I think that a lot of it is just really echoing off that brick, because I come in all the time. And yeah, the music's playing, but it's not.
I can't hear it from my house or my porch or my yard.
There's only one other person that has said something to me, and it was on a Saturday, and he had his biker buddies over there. So it was probably too loud. And I did talk to him about it, I said, look, I said, you know, I'm all for fun, I get it, you guys are, you know, but you've gotta remember you have neighbors, and some of them are older, and they don't wanna hear that stuff.
Are there any like soundproofing kind of, I don't know, tapestries or something they can hang up?